Hello and welcome back to the video. In this video we will be talking about a mid-game guide for Runes of Miracles. Runes of Miracles is a monthly event that you can do whenever you want to. You get 15 tickets by the mail every single month, every single week, totaling up to 60 attempts every single month. Every single attempt costs one of these, and in those attempts you can pick as many heroes as you want, up to 12. But you can only use one single faction. Here this is strength, but it is also agility next time, and after that it is intelligence. That means that when it is strength ROM you can only use strength heroes, but there is an exception with dual heroes such as Sobek, such as Kasumi, Athena and Gilgamesh. They have dual attributes, so they can be used in two ROM seasons. He can be used in agility and strength, she can be used in int and strength, she can be used in int and strength, and Kasumi can be used in int and agility. Now, every time that you complete a run, you get up to 3 stars. The stars is based on how well you do. If you kill one epic mob and do not lose any heroes, there is an exception I will be explaining later, and don't take any of the blessings, you will be eligible to get a 3 star. A 3 star means that you get 150 diamonds every single smash, and that is the only real difference. Let me just smash one time. I know it's a waste of them and I will be pushing more lately. I need to do this on this account because my diamonds is desperately low. It is a 3 star smash. That means that it just does some random hits, and after that you get 50 diamonds. That is the same as the 2 star clear. One of these boxes, which means that you get 100% chance to get 100 diamonds. So a 3 star clear is the same as a 2 star clear and a 1 star clear, basically, with the amount of ancient stones that you get, but the difference is how many diamonds you get. So you generally want to get 3 stars whenever you push. 3 star is way harder as well because you can't have any of the blessings, and if you randomly lose one hero at the end, you also lose the 3 star. I will be talking about heroes to use later, but for right now I will be going in and showing you some things that you can do. Let me just use these 5 heroes first. Now that you're in, you can see there's a big map here. There's a very big map, there's a lot of different random mobs, and I will be talking to you about some that you really have to avoid at all costs. But basically how this works is that you need this bar to fill up to 100%, then you can spawn the boss. Purple mobs, they give 25%. Blue mobs, this right here, they give 15%. And green mobs right here, they give 10%. Green mobs are the easiest ones. They have the less stats and they do the less amount of damage. These blue guys are a bit more difficult, and the purple guys are the hardest. When you're going to fight them, you want to be prioritizing to killing one purple mob first, or if you want to be smart, killing one of these easier ones first so that you can build up energy, because energy and health is additive over the entire fight. So if you lose 70% HP at the end of a fight on one mob, you will have a really hard time on the next mob that you're going to do. At the end you can also reset all of your HP. Let me go up to the end. Is this the end? No, this is not the end. I like this map because it is so short. Here you can recharge all of your health, and here you can resurrect heroes that has died. One thing that you need to know, there is a method to bosses that is called 3+5. I will be going more in depth to that later when I actually need to do it. But basically, if you use 3 heroes first to lower the amount of HP on the boss, and that boss and all of your heroes die, you can resurrect them for 1000 diamonds and go and finish off the boss with 5 heroes afterwards, and you will still be getting 3 stars. Let me just start. First off, let me just show you what gear I'm using currently. It doesn't really matter, I will change it up when I need to. These are the 5 heroes that I'll be using. I'm using Wit on Gilly. Yeah, it doesn't really matter, I will change it later because I need Vampire's Tooth, but I don't know who needs it first. Can I move? Oh, my buttons are very locked. Okay, and there is also 5 different seasons. One of them is defensive posture right here. At the beginning of a battle, monsters' physical and magic defense is increased by 160%. Then the bonus percentage is reduced by 16 every 10 seconds, down to 0. Meanwhile, their attack is reduced by 8% permanently. That means that they're harder to kill because they have a lot more defense, but they don't do as much damage to you. So this season is just a lot more annoying and a lot harder because it takes so much longer, but it is an easier one when it comes to damage. There are some other ones as well, let me just show you. I'll put it up on screen. Bizarre Skin, monsters' attack is decreased by 8%. When attacked, they have a 15% chance to transfer all the debuffs on self to 2 random enemies and reset the duration. What that means is that if you put a really bad debuff on an enemy, such as Athena with her Sanctified Judgment, this right here, you will take so much damage. It will really hurt. You can also use Executioner right here, and then you have that execution mark on your heroes. So if you fall below that that line, your heroes just die. That season is really bad for a lot of different heroes. If you have a really bad debuff, you will just be killing off your entire team instead. That is one of the harder ones, depending on who you have built. Next up, I've already talked about defensive posture. Purged Body. Taking that up on screen as well. A monster's attack is increased by 10% and they're immune to any damage from debuffs. That basically just means bleed, damage over time, Sanctified Judgment from Athena, stuff like that. So if you're using Wolf in Agiram, bleed doesn't do anything, but he works normally and he just does his damage normally. And he can apply bleed and damage over time and everything like that. They can be applied to the target, but it doesn't do the damage over time. That is also one of the easier ones. Next up, the most annoying one, the worst one for intelligence, Magic Eater. Monsters' health is decreased by 10%, but their attacks have a 20% chance to cast an anti-magic shield, a spell on the target. Monsters will devour target's buffs and get them through the anti-magic spell. If there's no buffs, monsters will absorb 300 energy instead. So basically, they have a 20% chance to steal your buffs, and if you do not have any buffs, they steal 300 energy instead. That is so bad. Think about it if you're using intelligence heroes. Zhuge really bad because they take all of his shields, they take his East Wind, they take everything from him. Think about Bishop, they take his shields. Think about the Scarabs, they can't really do anything with the Scarabs, but they take that away from him as well. Joan, Inspiration, all of your enemies are 45% faster, do a lot more damage, and have 30% damage reduction. It's just, that season is so terrible for intelligence heroes because they rely so much on buffs. It is fairly annoying for strength and agility as well, but it is worst for intelligence. Next up, Aggressive. Monster's attack is increased by 20%, but the duration of the debuffs that they receive is increased by 20%. This one is the one of the easier. This is basically the easiest one, and you can already see that why it is easy. They just do a little bit more damage, but they don't really have anything else to them. Aggressive int ram is basically the easiest ram of them all. Now, it also goes on a cycle that lasts 15 months, where it is aggressive first, then defensive posture, then magic eater, then mysterious skin, the one that I talked about before, bizarre skin is just the pin that is wrong, purged body, and then it moves on. Now it is, let me just click, why can't I click? That sucks that it doesn't work to click. Basically, it is strength, the defensive posture right now. That means that next time it is magic eater agility. Then it is int bizarre skin. Then it is strength purge body. And then it just moves on from that. But now it isn't too much talking. Let's get into it. I still don't understand why I can't click. Okay, so let us start with this one. I will just be using my heroes normally. Let me just put like that and see what happens. And this level is pretty easy, so after I haven't showed you a couple of fights, I will just be making a time lapse out of it. Easy enough. Him coming back is annoying, but it doesn't really matter. The problem with strength ram, if you don't use Odin or I forgot the name, Brynhild, if you don't use them, you don't really have any healing, so you have to rely on lifesteal gems or relics. After you finish a fight, you have the option to picking one of these 3 blessings that comes up. They can be anything. The higher level the mob that you kill, the higher chance you have to getting a better relic. The mana addiction is really good, and it is basically one of the best ones, same with the death. But for 3-star, you have to click this button right here. Click, cancel. Now you cancelled out of that selection screen. Now you do not have any blessings, and that means that you are eligible to get in the 3-star clear. Now I just need to kill off the rest of these normal mobs, and then I can kill the boss afterwards. But since this is an easy one, I will just be making it quickly. I thought my camera froze for a second, but it didn't. They have a lot of defense, which is annoying, but Gilly helps. Same with Executioner. Again, cancel out of the screen. Do not press a blessing and click OK. Click the cancel. As for enemies that you really should avoid at all costs, unless you really have to do it, firstly, Gladiator. He gets a lot of HP later on, and if you don't kill him quickly enough, he can just instantly do 200-300k damage to your hero with fixed attack, and it just will annihilate your hero. So if you don't have to do Gladiator, don't do Gladiator. Next up, Bristleback. No matter what happens, no matter how good you are, just avoid Bristleback at all costs, because he gets so much defense that his scaling is just absurd. No matter how strong you are, a lot of your heroes will just die instantly. So whatever you do, avoid Bristleback at all costs, and especially in defensive posture where he has a lot more defense. The next one is, let me see if I can find, yeah, the Phantom Assassin. I forgot the name. She can do a lot of damage and remove the healing from back right hero. And if that hero is kind of weak or you don't have Athena, that can be a very big death sentence. Other than that, if you have Athena, it is not that bad. And the last one that I'm going to talk about is Bishop. If you don't kill him quickly enough, he'll just ruin all of your shields and buffs and just be a really miserable time. And if you don't have a damage dealer, you probably won't even be able to kill him. Next up is Dwarf. He's really annoying, but you don't really have any options against him because he is in so many of the different fights. Even this one, he is very popular and he is in a lot of these fights. But if you can avoid him, try to avoid him, but he's not a death sentence, he's just really annoying to deal with. The slow and damage cut at the start is really annoying, and he can do a lot of damage to your backline as well. Executioner should finish this off, yeah. I really need to put Vampire's Tooth on Defender, and I'll be right back to you whenever I've done that. Again, cancel. And last fight, Goblin Mage is also very annoying to fight because of the Mystic Shields that does fixed damage. If you dispel all of his buffs on him with Buddhist Vinya, Executioner or any stuff like that, he can also do a lot of damage at once. So if you can avoid him, try to avoid him. But it is not always that easy. This is the last fight before the boss. My gear is so good that it doesn't really matter at all what happens. As long as I don't break Bristleback and be stupid again. Remember what I said? Cancel. Now that this bar reaches 100%, you can get something new. Now you can get... Oh, I can't speak. Now the boss has spawned. There is a lot of different bosses and it ranges from... and it goes all the way up to Cryowape, and it is one of the earlier bosses. I forget who it is, but I'll just put it up on screen. All of the bosses that you can fight. Let me just click this one. The worst ones by far is number 1, Headhunter. Headhunter does the stun on all of your heroes, does a lot of damage, and his passive just reflects a lot of damage, and that just sucks so bad. Ifrit can be really annoying if you don't have any ways to dispel his radiation, and Cryowape can be bad if you don't have a damage dealer or energy drain. And the Manticore can do a lot of damage to you as well. And of course Harpy Queen, who just blinds your heroes, targets the lowest HP and dispels all of your buffs. It's just terrible. Devourer is one of the easier ones. This should be easy enough. If you don't win before this timer runs out, you have lost. There you go, 3 stars. I completed the ruin, no hero died, and I took no blessings and defeated an epic monster, the purple ones. There is the damage. That's funny. I just completed 11, the one that I had already completed. I don't know why I did that, but now I will be making a time lapse of level 16, and you will probably be able to see something that I really need to stress, and that is escape. If the fight goes poorly, click escape. If you're using a PC, you can click escape like this and then press OK. Or if you're using a phone, you can drag your mouse on the side so that the screen comes up, or you can drag from the bottom up so that you can just exit the app completely and then close the app. Otherwise, you will need to close your screen for 5 minutes so that the game locks out itself. If you do that, you can retry the same ruin as many times as you want, the same fight as many times as you want, because the game is saved at battle start and battle end. If you exit out in the middle before the battle ends, it is like the battle never happened at all. So you can just retry it as many times as you want without wasting all of your tickets, and that means that you can basically get like 10, 15, 20 more floors than you normally would. Okay, I will be making a time lapse of this one. Hope you have fun, and I'll see you back. My audio was off, but we just completed the other one, and that is pretty scuffed that my audio was off, but that is fine. But basically, we just completed the other one, and Cryo did a lot of healing, and now we'll be doing another time lapse for the other one for 21, and we will maybe get to see me taking off the screen. We got this one as well. It was really close with Athena there. If it had gone bad, I would have had to restart it and do it again. Now we can climb all the way up to 26. This will be a lot harder. Okay, that was really close, but we got it in the end by removing Dwarf because it is easier with less heroes. Oh, that was pretty clutch. We still got 3-star clear, and now you really got to see in the full effect what it means to exit out of the game, because then you can retry the same fight over and over and over again until you finally beat it. Otherwise, if you can't beat it on your own, you can ask for help in the Discord, and they will be more than helpful to help you with clearing this certain amount of boss. Now we just got all the way up to 26. I will be doing more of this on my own, but for now I will be talking about some heroes that is really good for certain amount of roll. I just got that one, that is so good. Some heroes that is really good for mid game in strength realm. First, we go to strength heroes. Defender, he is really good. He is a really good tank, good at survival. He is good at keeping your team alive versus physical damage, same as Paladin is with magic damage, but you don't really need him as much as with Athena. Athena is amazing because of the fact that she's in strength. Athena is good because she keeps your team alive. She has some decent damage, as you could see in my fight, but it is not really that good at low stars. She wants to be 12 stars for maximum potential. Some other heroes that is good, like Anduin, he is amazing. Lubu is really good if you have him. Lane is a really good support hero. Maeve is a really good damage dealer. Hook is best in slot for clearing buffs on enemies, and he is basically required for high levels of strength round because of Ifrit, because he can instantly dispel all of the buffs on the enemy, and it is completely timeable, so you can just delete the radiation as soon as it comes up. Gilgamesh, amazing, increases damage dealt by all heroes, as well as being really good at staying alive, so you don't really need to put on her Vampire's Tooth, Blessing or High Priest. Ryan is really good as well to keeping your team alive. He is a bit micro heavy, but he is really good. Same with Singiffen and Mathos, but for now, for mid game, the ones you really want are Odin, because he can resurrect the hero and he can actually heal all of your heroes, and it is completely timeable. Or Brynhild, who can blind enemies and also heal your allies, but it is a lot less consistent. It is hard to keep Odin alive if you don't get him some good gear though. That is most of what I can say. For normal heroes, Berserker or Dwarf are good for the bosses to slow them down. Other heroes like Rock Giant are good for mobs, and there's a lot of good heroes here if you actually build them out. Just use the ones that you actually have beforehand. If you have a 15-star skeleton warrior, none of the legendary heroes, he has to be in a part of the team. But if you don't have any of the other ones either, so you should probably know better than me what will work best for your team if you don't have a lot of heroes built. For agility, Artemis is actually pretty good as a support hero for bosses, but you don't technically need her. If you have her, she is amazing for that. Sobek is really good. He is a good tank. He can heal himself really well, and his passive increases the healing of all allies as well, which works incredibly well together with Luo, who heals all allies whenever she acts. Luo is one of the best healers in the entire game, and basically required at high level of agility realm to just staying alive because of how good she actually is at her job. She also increases physical damage, defense ignored on all allied when her serenity is on. That's really good. That also allows a wolf to get 100% physical defense ignored on his own without Kasumi. That is pretty good. Kasumi as well, really awesome hero. If you get her to 13 stars, she will do a lot of damage herself and just boost all of your heroes to the maximum. Franken, 13 12-star Franken will just annihilate and destroy any single boss that can come up to you. He is one of the best damage dealers in the entire game. He's used in some Fiend's Layers methods for those bosses to just one-hit them with a super powered normal attack. He is a really good hero, the best agility damage dealer in the entire game. For mobs, that is, Alita is very good, especially with Luo and Kasumi in the team. She will just annihilate every single round of mobs. Amazing hero, but you need to have her built to actually do the damage. Diao-chan, great as well. If you already have her, she is amazing to use. She heals heroes with the lowest HP. She can do some decent damage, but it drops off at high levels if you can't get her up. In Defense Ignored, Kasumi kind of helps with that at 13 star. Some normal heroes that is great to use as well. Wolf is amazing damage dealer, just kill all the bosses. Hellfire Hunter, amazing for the mobs. Hellfire Hunter is one of the best ways to deal with agility ROM until you have Franken or Alita build. Amazing damage dealer. Lance Hunter drains energy and also does some decent damage on his own, but the main part of him is his Hunter's Mark, let me just find it, which increases the damage that the boss take by a lot of damage. He is one of the best heroes to have in your boss teams. Amazing hero for that. I hate when I try to join a trial team, I'm just stuck loading for like 5 hours. Bat Warrior, if you get her up to 13 stars, she will be healing all heroes. Even without 13 stars, she is an insane tank. I will not be assisting you anymore. She is an insane tank because she has a lot of healing, insane amount of dodge. Slap on her some vitality gear and you will have a really fun time with her as the middle tank. Long Yi, very good. Low stars work really well, just removes all of the buffs and prevents them from coming. I will not be assisting because that won't fucked. Jarrett, really good as well with his active to just remove all of the energy. That is most of them that I will be talking about for the mid game. There are some pretty good options as well, but like Rifleman, good option, and Poppy, an amazing option. For Int, mid game, Joan has to be part of that team. She can be a bit annoying in Magic Eater, but still amazing. Poseidon is probably really good as well for bosses. Hamuri, Nurgle, Break, amazing damage dealers. Athena is a good damage dealer, but she's not on their level. Sugliang, one of the best support heroes in the entire game. You want to have him. There's a lot of other options here, like Goblin Mage, like Vampire. Dryad is an amazing option, but basically what works best for you is the heroes that you already have built, with exceptions if you only have like Archangel built for strength heroes. You can't really rely on him to get you up to 75, and some heroes will work really well if they're used properly. But for the mid game, you don't have all of the options, you don't have all of the best in slot heroes. You just have what you have, and what you have will have to be good enough. Basically, if you need to completely build a new hero to complete something in ROM, early mid-game, it is not really that worth it unless you have the resources to spare to actually get to that point. But basically, I hope this helps. I hope this video helps. I will have a lot of editing to do because this recording is already over an hour long, but thank you so much for watching, and I hope you learned something from this Runes of Miracles mid-game guide, and I hope to see you again in the next one. Thank you for watching. I'm out again.